welcome to it. This is Extreme Sports Action. And of course, my name is Nehemiah Chacha, Mr. Live to Inspire. And it is yet another great week with a brand new episode. And as always, we bring you all the latest updates, interviews with athletes, and the coolest news in the culture, of extreme sports action in South Africa. With that being said, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. That's esatv.co.za and tv.visionview.co.za, which all our episodes will be live streamed on those two platforms. And a big shout out to the Clanware for all the merch, man, making me look good on today's episode. With that being said, we're going to shoot straight to the news for today. All right, first up on our news, we have 23-year-old Johan Mir, who won 7th place on Sunday at the Grand Premio of the Moto de Comunitat in Valenciana. And this was the penultimate round of the MotoGP 2020 Championship. And that was just enough to achieve the Triple Crown of the World Championship title. And remember, his first championship for the riders was in 2017 Moto3 crown, and the first for Suzuki in 20 years and the 100-year anniversary. Now, for more on the MotoGP results, it's very simple. Do visit esatv.co.za. As we move right along to the EFIS Montpellier Battle of the Nations, which went on a great kickstart last week, and the Mexicans and, of course, the South Americans led the way. And the Battle of the Nations is an online competition featuring top-ranked professional athletes and amateurs from the EFIS Montpellier who have been selected to represent their country. Now, all you have to do is just vote for the country you love. And as you vote, you will stand a chance to win the EFIS apparel, clothing, and accessory pack. Now, this is how you enter. Go to the e-fis.com /en/Montpellier and you can cast your vote, and there will be a round of picking the winners. And please, let's make sure that we vote for South Africa as we promote South African extreme sports athletes. And as we move right along to the 2020 Wavescape Surf and Ocean Festival, a streamlined of ocean conscious events from the 4th to the 12th of December 2020, and it goes as follows. It will include online and open film screenings with the Galileo Open Air Cinema and a drive surf movie night at the Constantia and outdoor film evening at the Kirstenbosch Gardens. The series of the online hybrid events hosted by Wavescape in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, and Wavescape collaborates with young South African artists who go by the name of Ye Abe for this year's artwork. And the Wavescape will again host Ocean Lives in partnership with Two Oceans Aquarium and, of course, Westgrow, which are the two partners. And this year, the Evening of Ocean Activism will host some of the top surfers and the conversationists from South Africa, and the world conversation about Cape Town and cold water and the conversation. Now, it will definitely be replaced by Zach Shorts. That is the Wavescape Masterclass, and it will partner up with Zigzag Surfing Magazine. Now, for more on these, it's very simple. Just visit wavescape.co.ca. And with that being said, that's just about it with our news. We're moving forward to the fall-throughs for today. These are the tricks of which the athletes did not quite achieve. Let's check them out. All right, it is the first interview for the show, traveling around Africa, riding with friends, and of course performing in front of excited crowds. Exactly is what it's all about for the freestyle motocross rider, the one and only Mike Oyston. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Awesome, man. I want to begin off by what sparked you to become a freestyle motocross athlete.
So I just started riding for fun with a really good friend of mine, Dallin Goldman. He's pretty much the top rider in the country at the moment. And yeah, he took me under his wing, showed me the ropes, and the rest is history.
I can imagine, man. And just before this, we've showed fall-throughs of athletes who don't really quite achieve their tricks. Now I want to ask you, is there a trick that you've been trying to do and it's always a battle?
Listen, we're always on the quest to
Always
learn new
falling.
tricks, you know. Unfortunately, crashes happen, you know. There's so many tricks in the sport. Yeah, some are definitely more challenging depending on the rider, you know, but I always want to learn new tricks.
What's your favorite?
My favorite at the moment is a dead body.
Yeah. And how long did it take you to actually get that right?
I actually learned that one pretty quick. I'm quite lucky that it's quite easy for me to jump through the handlebars. So yeah, I actually took to that trick quite quickly.
Freshman, and speaking of tricks, what are some of the career highlights and accomplishments in the motocross industry?
Sure. Obviously, all the really cool contests and events that I've podiumed at, those are always great. And then like I've gotten to ride up in Africa in front of 80,000 people, which is like I can't even describe the experience. You know, it's so loud you can't even hear your bike. It's insane.
Yeah. And then what are some of the riders you've been always looked up to? Maybe internationally in South Africa as well?
So locally, obviously Dallin Goldman, he took me under his wing. He showed me the ropes. Also Nick de Wit, one of the top South African freestyle riders. He's actually one of our teammates and we ride together. And then internationally, you know, growing up, watching the likes of Robbie Madison and Travis Pastrana, pioneers of the sport, you know, looking up to them for sure.
Yeah. And you know, having interviewed a couple of motocross athletes, I think what are some of the things that you would maybe suggest or advise on in terms of more awareness and more participation in the sport in South Africa, as opposed to overseas?
Yeah. So unfortunately, it's not a cheap sport to get into. So if you've got the platform and you have the access to everything, I would definitely advise it. You know, the sport, there's always room for growth in this country. We always encourage new guys to get involved. The team we ride for, Jungle Rush FMX, is always willing to help out where we can with facilities and pushing riders through, getting them on board for shows once they reach that level, all of that kind of stuff.
You speak about being an expensive sport, and with it being expensive, can you survive without sponsors, or sponsors play a huge role?
Sponsors do play a huge role, especially when you're on more of a professional competitive level. You know, all of the help goes a long way. We've got amazing gear sponsors like Shift MX helps me out. TRP Distributors helps out with like a whole bunch of oils and stuff. They also help out with like goggles and like a few of the other things we need. KTM South Africa is huge. I mean, bike parts, maintaining your bike is a really big deal, especially for what we do. You know, you can't be taking chances with your bike.
Yeah, that's true, man. And I mean, it's post-COVID, man. What has been the challenges during lockdown, and now post-COVID? What are your plans, man?
Sure. So obviously during lockdown, we weren't allowed to ride at all, which was a bummer. You know, unfortunately, this is the kind of sport where the saying kind of goes: you don't use it, you lose it. So you want to be on the bike, you want to be riding. Lockdown made that very difficult. Unfortunately, now, since things have opened up a bit more, I'm back on the bike, I'm back riding, practicing, getting ready for when the shows kick up again.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Look, there's so many probably young people who also look up to you as well. And you said when you got in, you had sort of like a mentor, you know, who took you in. What's the importance of having that, or can you just get into the sport just on your own?
You can, listen, it all comes down to determination and dedication. It does help a lot having the right kind of people around you. You know, I fortunately didn't have to make some mistakes because I learned from like Dallin's mistakes. The advice he's given me, don't do this, rather try that. That does go a long way, but if you're determined enough, you can make it happen.
Yeah. 2021, what is South Africa looking forward to in terms of Mike Oyston?
Sure, 2021, I really hope that this whole COVID thing, comes to an end. We'd really like to get back to riding shows. Bounce, which is one of our sponsors, hopefully they're going to be opening back up now at the end of this month, and I can get back in there, get back into the aerial awareness training. You know, we've got some, hopefully there's some contests that were postponed this year that are going to happen next year. Like King of the Whip, I'd really like to get another podium again. So yeah, I'm keen for that.
Yeah. All right, man, Mike Oyston is definitely keen for King of the Whip. But with that being said, man, do follow us on all our social media platforms and look out for Mike Oyston. This is ESA rather, and we're moving straight to the highlights for today. All right, first up on our highlight for today, the woods have been Greg Ellingworth's sanctuary during this year of uncertainty and restriction, a place where he can constantly improve on his tricks and his talent, and while connecting with nature, feeding his soul and pushing his body to the limit. So right about now, we're going to enjoy some BMX dirt jump from the man himself. So let's check that out. Do catch more videos like this on esatv.co.za. Now moving right along to the next highlight, it is the one and only Jean-Marc Johannes has officially broken his 6th world record as being the Guinness Book World Record holder for the most Ollie 180s in just a minute. Now remember, his previous world record is 27 Ollie 180s in just a minute. And on the 7th of November 2020, he broke that record to a whopping 30 Ollie's 180s for just in under 1 minute. So let's check out that highlight. A big shout out, man, to the South African record holder, Jean-Marc Johannes. Who knows what record he's going to break up next? But for more of these videos, esatv.co.za. Now, the Red Bull's most baddest and big air kiteboarding contest will be back in 2021 and is calling for all entries. Let's check out the video to see how you can be part of the Red Bull King of the Air 2021. Let's roll that. All right, don't forget, if you want to for sure know more about the Red Bull King of the Air, visit redbullkingoftheair.com, and entries close on the 30th of November 2020. Right about now, we're shooting straight to Anthony Raynard on the video call. All right, with a stack of accolades to his name within the motorsport, including 2020 SA Motocross Nationals. Anthony Raynard has set the standard and a lot aspire to be there. The one and only Anthony, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Thank you for coming through. I want to shoot off, man. What attracted you to the sport of motocross?
So I think as any other kid growing up, my family got me one of those little push bikes, the black push bikes, and I destroyed those things. I think I went through 2-3 of them in a good few years. So that was obviously the starting point. And then we had some family friends involved in the sport, and they roped me in with their kids. And yeah, I never looked back. Absolutely loved soccer. That was my dream, to be a professional soccer player. But yeah, I didn't follow through with that when the bikes got in the way.
All right, Anthony, when you think of riding and racing your dirt bike, what emotions come in your mind? What runs in your mind?
For sure, adrenaline is first up, because we reach real high speeds and we've got jumps, 40 guys on track trying to demolish each other, but everyone wants to win the race. So adrenaline, yes, but also for me, a big thing is being absolutely free. We're so trapped up in our day-to-day lives, and especially 2020 has been one of the toughest years for a lot of people. And being free on a motocross track, nothing compares to that.
Oh man, that's pretty great. To give us some insight into the highlights of your racing career to date, like what are some of the achievements, man?
So there's so many to mention, but one of the biggest ones for me was being chosen for the MX of Nation. I've been 2 years MX of Nations, which is the Olympics of motocross. I've been represented South Africa 2 years in that team, and that was a big thing. Last year we were in Netherlands, and the year before we were in the UK. And tough events for each rider, but one of the biggest events you can do for your career. And obviously winning SA championships is something that never gets old. So yeah, I think till the day I retire, I'll be fighting it out in SA, battling with the best in SA for sure.
In speaking of the SA championships, how did you prepare yourself for that mentally and of course physically?
So physically, for me, I'm all about hard work off the bike. Obviously, my bike training is crucial, but I really enjoy being in the gym, running, cycling. I live in Cape Town, so being outdoors here is really beautiful, and that's where I spend most of my time. But apart from that, sport in general is a big mental challenge. And like I said earlier, 2020. We didn't really know where we were going. We started our first SA National in February in Port Elizabeth, and then the season got put on hold, obviously with COVID and the lockdown, and we didn't know if we'd race again. And yeah, thankfully the Motorsport South Africa and the Motocross Commission put together 2 double headers towards the end of the year, which got us racing again. And from a mental side of things, that was difficult because you didn't know what to expect. We've never raced double headers. You had to prepare, and Yeah, the first one was a difficult one, but Bloemfontein for me was all about having fun, and yeah, the results definitely paid off.
All right, man. And speaking of preparing for yourself, and I know you've had, great support from brands, man. And what is that? How has that played a huge role? Because I know motor cross sport is very expensive, but how has the success been with brands supporting you?
For sure, that's one of the biggest things for any sportsman at the moment, and with motorsport in general being extremely expensive and just increasing year by year. Without the brands, I don't think a lot of riders would be out there. So for myself, I've had incredible backing from amazing corporate companies and exciting brands that have been behind me. And like this year, I've had the Swallow Racing, Yamaha South Africa team behind me, Dragon Energy. There's a number of brands that play a vital role in my success. So without them, you can't get on track with a clear mind and just know that you've got people having your back. So that for me is it's a big thing, and for the riders coming up and the youth coming through, for sure having a good family structure is key, and then good brands behind you.
Awesome, man. Shout out to all those sponsors and brands that are supporting you, which is very important. And you're not only a rider, man, you are a business owner of A Sports. Just tell us more a bit about that. And I think the importance as a rider, not just being a rider, but also venturing into entrepreneurship with your company, A Sports.
Yeah, so I started my business in 2014. I import a few motorsport brands into South Africa and distribute and wholesale to bike stores around Africa, and it's been an exciting journey. Something that started as a hobby. I had a passion for one of the brands, and I wanted to slowly but surely take some steps. And within the first year, I was jumping onto brand 2 and 3. So it's been an exciting journey. A bit stressful at times. I honestly can't lie about that, but it gives me the daily challenge. Running a business, having really cool people. Part of my team makes life a whole lot easier when I'm traveling and racing around the world or SA. But yeah, it's really grown into a cool business and something I'm extremely passionate about, and giving back to the motorsport community. So over the next few years, I've got lots of goals still to achieve with brands and to continue growing in SA. And my online store, asports.co.za, is where it's at the moment. Lots of drive and focus on that, so check it out.
All right, awesome, man. No, thank you so much, Anthony, for coming through to the show, and all the best with your competitions coming up, and of course, your company as well.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, all the best there with the one and only Anthony, together with his industry as a rider and his company, Ace Sports. With that being said, we are shooting straight to the turnouts for today. These are the videos of which the athletes did achieve their tricks. All right, those are the turnouts for today. Don't forget, if you want your videos to be featured on the show, it's very simple. Just submit them to the link found on your screen. With that being said, it is time to wrap up the show. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, and all the episodes are live streamed right here on esatv.co.za and tv.visionview.co.za. A big shout out to the clan, where do follow them for all the amazing merch, for dressing me up for today. I go by the name Nehemiah Judge and Mr. Live to Inspire. This is Extreme Sports Action.